Hi, Chad Owens here with another IT security tip from Myers Network Solutions. So the question I have for you is, do you need an incident response plan? Let's say, have you ever actually thought through your head what would happen as you're driving in traffic? Have you ever thought, what would you do if the guy behind you rear-ended you? Just as you're driving along and you had this, this thinking process, what would you do? How would you react? Have you ever had that planning just kind of random inside of your head? Well, the reason that you do that is because you want to kind of be prepared for the worst. You want to trust that in the moment of a crisis or something happening bad to you, that you don't rely completely on your own instincts, but that you have a plan in your head on how you might react so that things could turn out better. It's the same thing with an incident response plan. You don't want to be pulling together your C-suite or your VPs or all the decision makers and saying, how should we respond to this? And you don't want to be having those meetings and planning during the incident itself, because it takes so much time and it wastes so much energy, when what you really need to be doing is doing the plan and responding right away to the incident so that the damage is contained. So there's a couple of things that you might want to think about as you build this incident response plan. So the first one is just, let's not even talk about cybersecurity right now. Let's think about physical access to your building. What is the physical access to your building? Can anyone just come and go? Do you have bad scanners? What would you do if somebody came into the building that wasn't supposed to be there? Do you have a reception area and is it locked and secured? What would you do if somebody came in the front door and threatened your reception people? Are they secure? Are they separate? What's the likelihood of that happening as well? You want to consider the likelihood of these things, but you want to do the likelihood separate from the incident response plan. The incident response plan is a plan that you have sitting there regardless of the likelihood of something happening. You want to have all these different contingencies and then just hope that they never actually happen. So physical security to your office, that's one of the things. Another thing you want to consider is, what would you do if one of your employees or yourself lost a device, a mobile device, a laptop device, anything that might have some company data on it? How would you respond to that? You would think that, if it happens, we'll deal with it then. If somebody loses a company cell phone or a company tablet or company laptop, if it gets stolen or they leave it behind in the store, we'll get together and ask them, where do you think you left it, and all that kind of stuff. But those moments, from the moment you realize it's gone to the moment you react and can stop data access, are crucial moments. You don't want to have to think through that process at the time. You want to have a policy in place that says every time an employee loses a tablet, then we go and we change the passwords on all of their accounts. We lock down anything. If it's a Chromebook, we lock down the Chrome account, all these type of things. Another thing you might want to think about is, if you are dealing with any PCI, the payment card industry, if you do any kind of credit card transactions or any kind of ACH, anything where you are doing financial transactions, you want to make sure, if you have compliance requirements, that you know exactly what's going to happen when something gets breached, when a cyber attack happens and somebody grabs some PCI information from one of your databases. You need to know exactly what you're going to do. Who are you going to inform? What security steps are you going to take? Action items like that. Have a plan in place. You need to actually have a plan, because if you do have PCI information, then you are subject to compliance regulations. So you need to have that plan in place just to meet those regulations. And so be thinking about that in terms of all the other ways that could affect your business as well. What about data breach? If somebody breaks through your firewall, as they say on the show 24 or all these other TV shows, somebody's breached the firewall and they've gotten inside, and they now have access to all of your customer information. They have your customer phone numbers, they have your customer email addresses. How are you going to respond to that? Are you going to pretend it didn't happen, which is never really much of a response? Are you going to inform your customers? If so, how are you going to determine which customers you need to inform? Are you just going to blanket email all of them? Are you going to email at all? Are you going to do a personal phone call? Have a plan in place for that. And finally, threat monitoring. Are you going to have any way or plan to mitigate the possibility of an attack? Are you going to have a way to monitor whether or not somebody is likely to breach you in a physical or a cybersecurity way? Do you have anything in place for that? And if so, once you have that monitoring in place, how are you going to react when you get an alert? When somebody goes, bing, hey, this is likely to happen. Oh, it's looking like somebody is breaching right now. You need to have a response in place. So if you don't have answers to any of those questions, hey, Myers Network Solutions is here to help. We're always thinking about these things, and we do have answers, and we'd love to help you out. We'd love to help you come up with a cyber response plan or cybersecurity plan. If so, and you want some of those answers, please give us a call. We'd love to talk with you. And as always, have a nice day, and thanks for watching.